This is Act 1, Scene 1 of my senior project, Adorable, a 2 to 4 act play by Edmund Thomas, Dee Dee, Medeo Kane, myself. Act 1, Scene 1, Macaroni, Paintings, and Meetings. Setting, interior of the Paris' home, the living room, midnight. Theater lights are off. The main stage curtains are closed. The right wing lights illuminate. Cyrus Paris is seen packing a suitcase in a hurry as his son, young Hayden Paris, enters from offstage right ramp, exhausted. Young Hayden Paris, rubbing his eyes, says, "Daddy, it's 10 o'clock. What are you doing up so late?" Cyrus Paris, startled, he quickly hides the suitcase behind his back and says, Oh, Hayden, it's you. I was just going to the store quickly. Go back to bed, bud." Young Hayden Paris says, "Do you want me to tell Mommy that you're going to the store?" Cyrus Paris responds with, "No. She already knows. Besides, she's probably asleep already. You should be too, so go back to sleep." I'm going to change that quickly. Go back to bed. "I'll be back in a bit." Young Hayden Paris says, "KK." Young Hayden Paris exits to the offstage right ramp. The right wing goes dark. Cyrus Paris exits to the offstage right ramp. Setting, interior of the diner, daytime. The left wing lights illuminate. Young Christopher Kit Elliott, Ron Elliott, and Isla Elliott are all sitting at a table eating macaroni. Young Christopher Kit Elliott picks up a small spoonful, takes a bite, and quickly spits it out. Young Christopher Kit Elliott says, in pain, "Ow, I burned myself." Ron Elliott says, "Oh, for goodness sake, I told you it was hot. You have to let it cool down." Isla Elliott, sliding her bowl over to him, says, "Here, have some of mine. It's still a tad bit warm, but not boiling lava hot." Young Christopher Kit Elliott says, "I don't think I'm hungry anymore." Isla Elliott says, "Can you give it one more try, please?" Young Christopher Kit Elliott responds to that saying, "Okay." He takes a small bite and then starts to eat more. It's so good. The left wing goes dark. Young Christopher Kit Elliott, Ron Elliott, and Isla Elliott exit to the offstage left ramp only after young Summer Lawrence enters. Setting, interior of the Taylor's home, Charlie's room, daytime. The front main stage lights illuminate. Young Charlie Taylor, is sitting at his desk reading a book. Young Summer Lawrence enters from the offstage left ramp with a paintbrush in hand. Young Summer Lawrence, setting the paintbrush on the desk, says, "Thanks for letting me borrow this. Reading your daddy's books again?" Young Charlie Taylor says, "Of course. Yeah, but they are so confusing." Young Charlie Taylor then closes the book, takes the paintbrush, and starts to continue a painting on an easel by his desk. Young Summer Lawrence, asking about the painting, says, "Is that a portrait of your daddy?" Young Charlie Taylor says, "Yeah, but it's not done yet." Just then, Finch the butler enters from the offstage left ramp. Finch the butler says, "Summer, I told you not to come in here. It's Charlie's study hour. Charlie, you are supposed to be studying. Summer, come with me. You can see him later." Young Summer Lawrence says, over the top, "Fine." Young Summer Lawrence is led to the offstage left ramp by Finch the butler. The front main stage goes dark. Young Charlie Taylor exits to the offstage left ramp. Setting, interior of the Westbrook Elementary School, locker room, daytime. The right wing lights illuminate. Young Christopher Kit Elliott is being cornered by two bullies. Bully 1 says, "What are you going to do, idiot? Cry. Come on, adorable, cry." Bully 2 says, as he begins to hold Kit from his shirt, "Want us to call your mommy?" All of a sudden, the house goes dark. When the right wing lights re-illuminate, the bullies are down on the ground, and young Benji Jackson is standing in between them. He goes to comfort young Christopher Kit Elliott. The right wing goes dark. The bullies exit to the offstage right ramp. Young Christopher Kit Elliott and young Benji Jackson transition to the left wing. Setting, interior Westbrook Elementary, the nurse's office, daytime. The left wing lights illuminate. Young Christopher Kit Elliott lay unconscious on a recovery bed. Young Benji Jackson and the nurse are arguing over the new injury across his eye. The nurse says, "Are you sure you don't want anything? It's going to get infected." Young Benjamin Benji Jackson says, "Yes, I told you I don't want anything. It's just a scratch." Just then, young Benjamin Benji Jackson notices young Christopher Kit Elliott start to wake up. Young Benjamin Benji Jackson says, "You're awake. My name's Benji. How are you feeling?" The left wing goes dark. The nurse exits to the offstage left ramp. Young Christopher Kit Elliott and young Benjamin Benji Jackson transition to the main stage. Setting 1, interior of the Elliott's home, Kit's bedroom, evening. Setting 2, interior of the Elliott's home, the dining room, evening. The main stage curtains open. The main stage lights illuminate. On stage left of the main stage, young Christopher Kit Elliott and young Benjamin Benji Jackson are sitting on a bed, playing a video game. On stage right of the main stage, Isla Elliott is setting the table for dinner. Isla Elliott says, "Kit, Benji, time to eat." Young Christopher Kit Elliott says, "Coming." Young Christopher Kit Elliott and young Benjamin Benji Jackson both stop what they are doing and transition to the dining room. Before young Benjamin Benji Jackson can sit down, Isla Elliott goes in for a hug. Isla Elliott says, "Thank you for doing that for my son. Please, eat all you want." The main stage goes dark. The main stage curtains close. Young Christopher Kit Elliott, young Benjamin Benji Jackson, and Isla Elliott exit to offstage right. Setting, interior Jersey Elementary, the principal's office, daytime. The right wing lights illuminate. Young Dayton West and Clark West are sitting in the principal's office across from Principal Wilson. Young Dayton West has a few bruises on his face. Clark West says, "I assure you this will be handled." Looking at his son, he says, "In no way do I find assaulting another student acceptable behavior in the slightest." Principal Wilson says, "I understand where you are coming from, Mr. West, but this isn't the first time, remember. Hayden is only one of a few students who has gotten into a fight with before. Hayden is only one of a few students whom he has gotten into a fight with before. Let me change that. If he does it again, I'm afraid he will have to be expelled." Clark West responds with, "This will not happen again, rest assured. Thank you for this meeting, Principal Wilson. Let's go, Dayton." Before young Dayton West and Clark West can take their leave, they run into young Hayden Paris and Allison Paris, the latter of whom Clark West runs into, knocking her purse out of her hands. He kneels down to pick it up, and then they both look at each other and smile. Clark West says hi. Allison Paris says hi. The right wing goes dark. Allison Paris, Clark West, and Principal Wilson exit to the offstage right ramp. Young Dayton West and young Hayden Paris transition to the front of the main stage. Setting 1, interior of the West's home, living room, evening. Setting 2, exterior of the West's home, evening. The front main stage lights illuminate. Young Dayton West and young Hayden Paris are on opposing ends of the door in the middle of the front main stage. Young Dayton West is sitting on a couch watching a race. Young Hayden Paris, knocking on the door, says, "Hey, open up, Dayton. I know you're there." Young Dayton West looks confused, as this is not the most formal way to get somebody's attention. He gets up and opens the door. Young Dayton West says, "Oh, it's you. What do you want?" Young Hayden Paris lets himself into the West's home, grabs the remote, and turns off the race. Young Dayton West says, "Hey, what the hell is your issue?" Young Hayden Paris responds with, "We need to talk." He sits down on the couch. Young Dayton West says, "And why would I talk to you? You realize you almost got me expelled, right?" Young Hayden Paris says, "Okay, first of all, you started it, and second, this is serious. I think that our parents are going on a date." Young Dayton West says, "What are you talking about? My dad's at work." Young Hayden Paris says, "Oh yeah? What was he wearing?" Young Dayton West says, "A suit and tie." Before young Hayden Paris can give him a look, young Dayton West continues, "Like he always does." Young Hayden Paris says, "Well, I'll have you know that my mom has been going out more lately. She says she needs to pick up groceries, but she has been wearing more fancy clothes. The type of clothes that you would wear on a date. Also, the only person she has seen recently that I know of is your dad, when they ran into each other in the principal's office." Young Dayton Paris says, Maybe you're right. My dad has also been going out a lot more recently. Young Hayden Paris says, see? Young Dayton West says, so what are we going to do about it? Ask if they're dating? Young Hayden Paris responds with, no, dummy. We'll sabotage tonight's date, of course. Young Dayton West says, right, because that would have been my next guess. The front main stage goes dark. Young Dayton West and young Hayden Paris push the door behind the main stage curtains only after the front main stage goes dark to have the crew move it off stage. The narrator enters from the tunnel to the stairs. Setting, fourth wall narration. From stage right to stage left, young Dayton West, young Hayden Paris, young Charles Charlie Taylor, young Summer Lawrence, young Benjamin Benji Jackson, and young Christopher Kit Elliott line up across the front main stage. The front stairs illuminate. The narrator is seen sitting down on the stairs with a book in hand. The narrator says, "Hiya! How are you all tonight?" They begin asking around. "All right, where should we begin?" "Ah, yes, what the hell is going on?" "Yes, I know. It's very confusing so far. Let me help you out." The narrator snaps. A front main stage spotlight illuminates over young Dayton West and young Hayden Paris. The narrator says, "This is Dayton and Hayden. Currently, they are both in elementary school. You may notice that Hayden has no hair. That is because he has cancer, and he and his mom are the only ones who know. He and Dayton are both good students, at least when they aren't getting into fights. The reason they were called to the principal's office is because apparently Hayden provoked Dayton and he threw a punch. What else? Oh yeah, Hayden is also a drug addict later in life, which will lead to, well, you'll see." The narrator snaps. The first front main stage spotlight goes dark. A front main stage spotlight illuminates over young Charles Charlie Taylor and young Summer Lawrence. The narrator says, "This is Charlie and Summer. Charlie is a homeschooled kid, and Summer is an orphan looking to be adopted by the Taylors. You see, their fathers were good friends, but when Charlie's father got a call from Summer's uncle, things changed. Her parents got into a car crash, which ended in the couple drowning. She and Charlie have been best friends since birth, but, well, something will come up soon, and I guess I'll have to leave you on another cliffhanger." The narrator snaps. The second front main stage spotlight goes dark. A front main stage spotlight illuminates over young Christopher Kit Elliott and young Benjamin Benji Jackson. The narrator says, "Lastly, this is Benji and Kit. Benji has been in karate for 4 years, while Kit is thinking about pursuing professional photography. He is a shy little one, though, but he is also the star of our show. And Benji, well, believe it or not, Benji is the enemy of our story. At least for most of it." "Aw, man. Sorry. I didn't mean to leave you on the edge of your seat so many times. All right, let's get back to the show." The narrator snaps. The third front main stage spotlight goes dark. Young Christopher Kit Elliott, young Charles Charlie Taylor, young Benjamin Benji Jackson, and young Summer Lawrence exit to the offstage left ramp. Young Dayton West and young Hayden Paris exit through the main stage curtains and sit at the table behind. The stair lights turn to blue. That is Act 1, Scene 1. Macaroni, Paintings, and Meetings.